Okay, so our very first entry to our very first attachment or takedown and our very first finish, all right? And you're gonna hear me use entry or setup interchangeably and attachment or takedown interchangeably into our finishes, all right? So we're gonna get in a good mid-range stance. We're gonna step forward, clear our partner's hands out of the way with our reach setup, get to our attachment on our high single leg, lacing our shoulder over top, and circle as I sit him down to his butt, all right? A couple things I wanna point out from here. This reach setup is one of the most effective, widely available, and underutilized in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Even novice level wrestlers use this effectively, but you very, very rarely see it even in the highest levels of BJJ. So all I'm doing is I'm distracting him on my entry, okay? I want to be just outside his range, all right? So if he can reach out and touch me, I want to be just outside of that, okay? And I want to enter into that range and camouflage my movement, camouflage my level change by reaching towards his face, creating a momentary distraction, okay? I'm going to bring my back leg with me so it's easy to change distance. So my lead hand is going to come in as I reach up towards his face. That's all it is, okay? And partner, you know what he's doing, so just simulate a realistic reaction, right? If someone throws something at your face or something moves towards your face, you're gonna block it. Your hands are gonna instinctually come up. I've been wrestling for over almost 30 years now, and I still get caught with this very same setup. Even after I teach it to a student, right? They can catch it, they can catch me with it, get me to move in this way on our very next roll, all right? So I'm going to step in with my back leg as I come in to arm's length distance. So as I'm edging into arm's length distance, I'm gonna bring my back leg with me as my lead hand reaches towards his face. Partner simulates a realistic reaction. His hands come up, and then I replace my lead leg with my back as I step right below his leg, all right? And then I wanna be knocking him back when I get to him. If I don't, this leg is gonna stay nice and heavy. But I'll never be able to just lift it off the ground. But if I enter in with force, my shoulder right in the crook of his hip, right in his pocket where his femur meets his hip, and I knock him back, that leg gets really light, right? All his weight transfers to his back leg, and the leg comes right up and into me. And you wanna think about pulling this leg into you, making it a part of you, right? My elbows are pulled in to my sides, and my grip is pulled in. So his leg is nice and tight to my torso, and my back arm is long, so I can lace my shoulder over top. This is probably how you've learned single legs, going hand to elbow, okay? This puts my head in guillotine range, and it also takes an acute point of pressure on my shoulder and distributes it over a wide surface area. I wanna be able to create as much pressure as possible, especially when I'm dealing with a size and strength advantage. We can scooch in just a little bit. So once I've created a proper attachment, leg pulled in, shoulders over top, stay at a palm-to-palm gable grip, all right? That's also gonna allow your back arm some length for your shoulder, and I want that shoulder laced over top, and depending on the size of your opponent, this leg could be pretty big. All right, so going hand to elbow is gonna shorten that back arm, and you're never gonna get your shoulder all the way over top, all right? Every part of this move is so I can create pressure right here, downward on his femur, okay? This is what gives him the reason to sit down. If you don't have any pressure, right, if I'm standing straight up here, which is all too common in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, guys will just stand straight up with their grip right at the knee. He has no reason to go down. There's no off-balancing effect here. Both my hands are occupied, so it's hard for me to create off-balancing effects. And he can just slip his knee out, right? He can just turn and kick out, right? And the defense will be going over soon. So I create a tight attachment so he can't slip out. I want my grip right at or in front of his knee. Joe's pretty tall, so I'm not gonna be able to get all the way down to his knee because then my shoulder doesn't have the length to get up to his pocket. So I scooch the hand up just a little bit so I can get right up in his hip. And I mean, you wanna be right up in his hip, right? I'm not down here. I'm not down here. I want my shoulder all the way up on him. My head is up, my chest is facing the same way his is, right? My chest is facing down. Again, that's gonna put my head in guillotine range. So I wanna keep my head up by keeping my chest, my shoulders stacked on one another. Pressure down, and all I'm gonna do is circle back. My post leg inside is gonna step back, right? And then my lead leg is gonna step forward. So I'm gonna step forward, then back, and now I can sit him down to his butt. This setup, attachment, and finish is the beginning basis to all of your other finishes, okay? So it's less important that you actually are able to finish with this exact finish. It's more important that you're able to get to this attachment and move effectively from here, move freely, okay? Getting in on a good guy, right? Someone who knows their defense, you're gonna have to switch off to 2, 3, 4, even 5 different finishes to get them to the ground, all right? So be willing to negotiate once you get in here, but the utility of this move is that it begins and it's the basis of the start of all of our other finishes, okay? So a good warm-up, right, is to get in here, get a good attachment, go through your checklist. His knee is pulled up and in, my shoulder's laced over top, my chest is facing the same way his is, and then move through all areas of motion. I want to be able to push into him, pull him in, circle forward, and circle backwards, okay? Everything on the feet is far more spontaneous. So there's going to be a ton of motion from here. Once I enter, depending on the opponent, their anatomy, their size, and their reactions, that's going to dictate what finish I chain off to. And my ability to reach that finish, to chain off, is directly correlated with my ability to move fluidly in this position, okay? So again, less important that you're actually able to run the pipe, this exact finish, and get him to the ground, and just move effectively and efficiently from here. If I can get the finish, great, awesome. Sit him right down to his butt, stay on your feet, slide out to the ankle, right? And you can start going into your guard passes from here. But if not, right? If not, don't worry about it. Because again, even you're going against bigger, stronger people, they're gonna be giving you strong reactions, all right? And you're just gonna need to be willing to chain off to your other finishes. One last important detail you may have noticed, and I need to point this out because it's pretty important. I have to match same side foot. We have what's called a mirrored stance. If I was standing in front of a mirror, this would be my exact reflection. So on this movement, I'm gonna be perfectly set up to snatch that single, okay? That doesn't mean I can't enter if I'm like this, okay? I'm gonna show you exactly how to enter if we have same side or same lead foot, left leg versus left leg. But for your snatch single, for now, match the same side lead foot, all right? And this is a move, one of the only moves I'm going to strongly suggest you learn on both sides. So Joe has the other lead leg, I have to match that lead leg and do the exact same movement. Step in, clear his hands, and go into my attachment and finish.